celebratory dinner tonight. I'm making a beautiful chicken roulade with a creamy polenta. Now, if you don't know what a chicken roulade is or have never had one, it's just basically a rolled up chicken with whatever kind of filling you want inside of it. Today I'm using basil and sun-dried tomato and smoked Gouda to give it an amazing flavor. Whatever you want kind of works. And I have 4 chicken cutlets that I've started with. The cutlet is essentially if you would take a regular chicken breast and cut it in half widthwise, you would end up with a smaller, thinner piece. And I've even covered these with plastic wrap, and I just kind of pounded the fat part of it with my fist to get them more evenly displaced like this. And so I have these 4 chicken breasts very thinly laid out on my sheet pan here. I have all my ingredients ready. I want to give them a little bit of salt. Before I start in on this endeavor, I've removed my rings because we're going to get messy with the chicken. And I need a little bit of pepper in here too. And I have some oil heating in my skillet because we're going to sear these. And then I'm going to stick them in the oven. All right, that should be good. And so I want to start by layering these with the sun-dried tomatoes. Once I go into this chicken, my hands are going to be covered in chicken, so anything that I touch after that point will be essentially cross-contaminated. It's kind of like the rules of engagement with raw chicken. So after I finish all of that and get those in the skillet, then I'm going to discard everything and wash my hands before I continue because I don't want to cross-contaminate and get anything else with the chicken on it. So I have everything that I need in separate containers, so I'm not going to waste things by having to toss it after I've messed with my chicken here. I'm going to start with these beautiful sun-dried tomatoes. And a roulade is so impressive. It does not take long to put together. It's just a little bit of an assembly. Oh, there's that. I don't want to waste any of that beautiful sun-dried tomato oil. It's amazing. And then I'm going to add probably just a couple of basil leaves on each one. And more there. And then the smoked Gouda. You can use any really flavorful cheese for this. I'm going to kind of tear this in half so that it's more evenly distributed on these beautiful chicken breasts. The cutlets that I made. All right, then it's just a matter of rolling up. And I'm sure my pan up just a little bit. I want that oil to start kind of shimmering just a little bit before I put everything in there. Then we dive in and we roll. And it's just kind of, you want to tuck and get everything very tight as you're doing this. And then just to hold it together while it sears, I'm going to stick a great big toothpick through the center, kind of weave it around. See if my oil is hot enough. Just starting to sizzle, that's perfect. All right, I'm going to add all of these chicken breasts in here that are rolled with this beautiful sun-dried tomato. And smoked Gouda. You can use any flavorful cheese. Goat cheese would be good in here. Fontina would be good in here. All right, I'm going to let those sear on one side. I'm going to flip them over, and I'm going to go wash my hands. These are looking done on one side. I'm going to flip them over carefully and let them cook on the other side without losing any of that delicious filling. They're making a nice kind of pan juice of their own here. All right. I'm going to cover them kind of loosely with foil. And I'm going to stick them back here in my 350 oven to finish cooking all the way. Now I'm going to get started on my polenta. I have here a cup of coconut milk combined with a cup of water, and I'm going to pour it into my pan. And I'm also going to need about a cup of stock. This is going to be really flavorful. So I'm going to measure that out. Oh, that's just a little bit more probably than I need, but sometimes you don't know with polenta. And I need a cup of polenta. And as soon as this comes to a boil, I'm going to whisk in my polenta carefully and slowly so I don't have clumpy polenta. All right, this is just starting to bubble around the edges, so it's time to add my polenta. I'm going to kind of even it off, 1 cup. And slowly, I'm going to whisk it in. And I'm not going to need the extra liquid just yet. I like to do it with less liquid to get this very dissolved first and non-clumpy before I add an additional liquid. And it will start absorbing what's in here already, and then I'll work from that. And I make sure that chicken stock is at room temperature because I don't want to put a cold stock into a hot polenta. You have to treat this very gently. Should do it this way so you can see it. It's starting to thicken up already. Wow. All right, now it's time to add the stock. I'm going to do a little bit at a time. Oh, wow. I'm going to turn down my temperature just a little bit. More stock. I'm going to add a pinch of salt and a healthy dose of pepper. Ooh, starting to bubble. Oh, smelling good. Smells kind of corny, if you will. And now I think it's time for the rest of that stock. So for a cup of polenta, that was about 3 cups of liquid. You could add a little bit of wine in this if you wanted to. This is going to be great. And I have whatever cheese you want to use. Fontina cheese would be good in this. Goat cheese would be good in this. This is a goat's milk cheddar. I'm going to just dump that all in. Don't waste any of it. A bit over a half a cup, and that's going to make me some cheesy, creamy polenta. Parmesan, perfect for this. All right, this is just going to need to simmer away until it's perfectly smooth and creamy and the cornmeal polenta is all cooked through. We're on the home stretch. My polenta is bubbling nicely. It's very creamy. It's very much exactly the way I wanted it to be. I'm going to add in a 4th cup of Parmesan, and that is just the Parmesan from the jar. I didn't have fresh Parm, so I kind of like to use what I have on hand. And I'm just going to stir that in. I was really cautious on the salt because Parmesan is going to add a lot of salt to this. And I'm going to move this right over here, and I'm going to bring my very hot skillet of chicken roulade over. I have to be careful because this has been in the oven. I tend to want to grab it, and I don't want to do that. So here's how we plate this up. I take some of this gorgeous, gorgeous Parmesan, and I'm going to plate it right there. I did make a mess. See, it's really creamy. Perfect consistency. And then I'm going to take this gorgeous roulade of chicken, place it right on the polenta, and then actually, I need to remove this toothpick that I had in there that held it all together. And sprinkling of basil. Whoops, just a little bit. Oh, that's really pretty. And then I'm going to dig in. Have to set this one down. This looks really amazing. Get some of the polenta. Mouthful. Those sun-dried tomatoes just pop it off with that hint of sweetness. And the cheese is melting perfectly in there. It's just quite a delicious bite. The polenta gives you something to just sop it all up with. Really, really good. Give it a try. It looks so impressive. It is impressive, but it actually takes hardly any time at all. Chicken roulade with creamy polenta. Hey friends, thanks so much for watching Taylor Kitchen. For recipes and a whole lot more, go to taylorkitchen.net. Thanks again.